Okay, welcome. My name is Jan Potzman. I'm the Assistant Director at the CSUN Career Center, and we are thrilled to invite you and to have you participate in internship week sessions. Right now, our session is LA County Arts Internship Program, and from the program LA County Arts and Culture department. So I'd like to introduce our two speakers for today. The first person is Martin Hernandez, and he is the Arts Internship Program Manager, and Sam Avita. Oh, I said your name incorrectly. How do you pronounce your last name, Sam?
It was extremely close. Sam Avitia.
Avitia.
Yes.
So I'd like to introduce Sam Avitia, and her title is she's the arts internship uh, program specialist. So let's welcome the two of them, and we'll turn it over to them.
Thank you so much, Jan. We are so grateful to the CSUN team for inviting us to be a part of your internship week. Sam and I are both really excited to be here, and you're going to hear from Sam in just a little bit. But as Jan said, my name is Martin Hernandez. I'm the Arts Internship Program Manager, and I'm here today to talk to you about the LA County Arts Internship Program. So you should see some slides here on your screen, and we're just going to move through them for today's presentation. So we are really lucky to be celebrating actually the 24th anniversary of this program. If you do the math, of course, the program started in the year 2000. And some of you may have been familiar with our sister program, which is called the Getty Merrill Multicultural Undergraduate Internship Program. Combined, these two programs are actually the largest paid arts internship program in the country. So this is a really, really exciting opportunity for us to be sharing with you today. On the screen, you'll see our mission statement, and I'm not going to read it. You're welcome to read it yourself if you'd like. But the opportunities that we're going to be talking about today are really centered in the LA County arts nonprofit landscape. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But this is a really amazing program brought to you by the LA County Department of Arts and Culture, and it's what we're going to be covering today. So let's talk a little bit about this 2024 program. So this year on the organization side, the applications for organizations to host interns actually took place in the fall. And this year we had a record number of applications. We had 187 organizations apply to host 329 interns. Of those, oh, sorry, Jan, go ahead.
Yes, I apologize. This is something we often forget, but we need to launch our first poll.
Please.
So here we go. So folks, if you could answer this poll. We just want to know, what do you know about LA Arts and Culture, and what do you know about their internship program? Couple more folks. All right, well, let's see what we have here. Most people are new. They don't have a lot of knowledge about this program, so it's up to you to share it with them today.
We love it. We love being in a room to introduce ourselves to new folks. So that is fantastic. So, as I was saying, so the organizations that host these interns actually have to submit an application that they was due in the fall of last year. And this year we received applications from 187 organizations requesting a total of 329 interns. We are able to fund 228 internships this coming year at 164 of those organizations. So this is not a small program. I've administrated other internships programs in the past, and sometimes it's, oh, we have 5 internships or we have 10 internships. But what we're talking about today is 228 internships, which is very, very exciting. You might notice, okay, 164 organizations, but 228 interns. What's the math there? Some of these organizations are hosting up to 3 interns. The vast majority of organizations are hosting 1 or 2, but we do have some organizations that are hosting 3. The types of internships in the pool. So this year, arts education positions and production internships represent the highest number of internships in the pool. So arts education positions would be for those of you that are interested in potentially working in schools or working with students or young people. Those arts education positions are going to be just that, internships that sit at the intersection of arts and education. Production internships are just that, production internships. So they might be actually involved with the putting on of concerts, dance performances, school performances, so on and so forth. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the full list of types of positions that are available in the program. So this includes administration, development and fundraising, civic engagement, audience services, event planning, marketing, graphic design, and research and evaluation. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved with the arts as part of this program. All of our organizations do arts programming in some way, but the internships that you select, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute, the internships that you select will be a little bit more specific based off of the type of work that they will be doing. So let's talk about eligibility. I get to this pretty quickly because this is about the time where students start saying, okay, Martine, this sounds cool, but what's the catch, right? What are the boxes that I have to check off to participate? And we're here to tell you that we don't have a lot of boxes, or at least we try not to have a lot of boxes, because we want this program to be available to as many students as possible. So let's start with the left-hand side of this slide. These are the things that you must have in order to participate in the program. The first is that you must be currently enrolled either at undergraduate students at either a 4-year or community college institution. So I'm going to make an assumption here that all of you on this call are enrolled at CSUN, and therefore you would check that first box by being enrolled at a 4-year institution. If you are a student that is about to graduate from CSUN, first of all, congratulations. But as long as you are graduating this year in 2024, you are still eligible to participate. And what I can tell you is that a lot of our organizations are actually very interested in hosting an intern that's graduating, because you don't have to worry about school in the fall. Maybe they can hire you at the end of their internship. So if you're a graduating senior that's graduating this year between May and December, we would also encourage you to apply for this program. In addition, you must reside in or attend school in LA County. So what do I mean by that? Because you go to school at CSUN, which is within LA County, you check that box. But let's say that you're from New York. As long as you are attending school within LA County, again, like CSUN, you are able to participate. The opposite is also true. Let's say that you are from LA County, but you live but you're going to school in New York, like at NYU, those students are also able to participate. So as you're hearing this presentation, if you're thinking of friends or family members or other students that might be interested that fit these eligibility requirements, you might want to send it to them so that they can learn more about it and potentially apply. And last but certainly not least, you must possess right to work documents. So you must be able to legally work in the United States. This does include students who are recipients of DACA as well as international students. In both of those instances, as long as you have work authorization, you are able to participate in this program. Unfortunately, that is not something that myself and Sam can help you figure out. I would encourage you to reach out to the appropriate offices at CSUN, because ultimately the school would need to work with you to secure the work permit. This is specifically for international students. Your school will need to work with you in order to secure that work permit, and I would suggest reaching out to them as soon as possible if that's something that you're interested in. On the right-hand side of the screen are a couple of things that would disqualify you from participating even if you meet all of the requirements on the left side of the screen. So the first is, this is really a program for first-time college students. So if you are at CSUN pursuing a secondary degree or a third degree, congratulations, but you would be ineligible to participate in this program. This is really, again, for students that are pursuing a degree for the first time. You also cannot have participated in this program before. So if you've participated in the LA County Arts Internship Program, you would be ineligible to participate, and that is something that myself and Sam check as part of our duties with the organizations. These last 2 points are really about addressing the fact that sometimes when Sam and I are on college campuses, sometimes students will say, Martine, the arts, it's all about nepotism. It's all about who you know, right? They're not going to hire people that they don't know. Well, in this program, we actually do not allow organizations to hire interns that they have a previous connection with. So if a student has been a previous staff member of an organization, they are not able to apply for the organization, an internship at the organization where they have that personal connection. They also cannot be a relative of a staff or board member at that organization. So those interns are encouraged to apply at other organizations, but they cannot apply at the organization where they have the personal connection. Down here at the bottom, you see something that says, notice anything missing. A lot of times in these internship programs, you might expect to see something like a minimum GPA requirement or a minimum number of credits that you need to take or previous work experience or even a major declaration, right? That you need to be majoring in a specific field in order to participate. We have none of those requirements as part of this program. What does that mean? If you are somebody who's not majoring in the arts, you can still participate in this program. If you are a student who is maybe a little bit older, maybe you're pursuing your degree for the first time, later on in life, there's no age cap in this program, right? And we would welcome you to apply so long as you meet all of the requirements on the left-hand side of the screen. So again, we do as much as we possibly can to make this program available to as many students as possible. And so it's really exciting for us to be able to talk about this with you all and keeping those requirements, keeping that requirement list as thin as possible. So who are the host organizations? I talked a little bit about the numbers, how many of them applied, but let's talk about a little bit about who they actually are. So I mentioned earlier that all of the internships in this program are really in the 501c3 nonprofit sector, right? So these are charitable organizations or 501c3 nonprofits that exist within LA County, and we have some requirements on them. The first is that they have to have been around for at least 2 years. This is to ensure that we're sending you into organizations that are reputable and that have a little bit of experience under their belt and are not just gonna, close their doors overnight. So we make sure that they've been around for a little while, and that they've been doing work for at least 2 years. We consider arts organizations to be the following list: performing arts organizations, presenting, literary, film and digital media, municipal arts agencies, as well as social justice and social service organizations. So you'll remember at the top of the presentation, I talked about how the Getty Merrill Multicultural Undergraduate Internship Program is our sister program. That internship program focuses specifically on visual arts and museums. And so galleries basically and museums. We fund everybody else in the arts. That's, again, the performing, presenting, film, digital media. So that's dance, that's music, that's theater. All of those artistic disciplines participate in this program. However, we have a couple of really other groups that are really exciting that participate in this program. The first are municipal arts agencies. So as Jan mentioned, we represent the LA County Department of Arts and Culture. Within LA County, there are 88 cities that comprise the county, and some of those cities are large enough to have their own arts and culture departments. Some examples are the city of Glendale, the city of West Hollywood, the city of Torrance, just to name a few. A couple of those cities actually participate in our program and get interns from us as part of the program. So that means that if you're interested in kind of getting a little bit of a sense of what Sam and I do working at the intersection of arts and government, those could be really exciting opportunities to pursue. And I will say there's a very small number of them, but they can be really impactful internships if you're interested in potentially working in the government, right? These last two categories, social justice and social service organizations, these are our newer organizations. I put air quotes because it's been about 4 years now that they've participated. But 4 years ago, we opened the program up to organizations that do programming that is not necessarily arts focused. Like their main mission is not to do arts, but they have some arts programming. And those organizations are able to apply to us to have an intern to support that arts programming. So to give an example, one of our long-term grantees is actually the Alzheimer's Foundation of Los Angeles. Their organization primarily is about doing advocacy work around raising awareness about Alzheimer's as a disease, as well as providing support to caretakers for folks who are living with Alzheimer's. They run a really amazing art program called the Memories in the Making, which actually brings together caregivers and individuals living with Alzheimer's to create art projects together as a way to, build community, to be around other folks that understand, and, to just kind of build memories with their family members. So they are able to apply to us to have an intern to support that arts programming. So those are really great opportunities if you're somebody that's interested in social justice, if you're really interested in, organizations that are pushing to do really great work in the environment or in health. There are a handful of organizations that participate in this program that fall under that branch as well. And last but certainly not least, all of the organizations that participate in this program must be based within LA County. And for, just as a reminder, LA County goes up as far north as, Antelope Valley, Palmdale, as far south as Long Beach, San Pedro, as far west as Santa Monica, and as far east as Pomona, right? So when we said 168 organizations earlier, they are all spread throughout the county, which is good considering that many of you might be living in various parts of LA. Maybe you don't live in the valley, maybe you live somewhere else. And so if picking an organization that's near to you is important, we hope that there's an organization very near you that you can participate in an internship with. So let's talk timeline. We are about here on this timeline, right before April 1st. We start doing these info sessions in February, January through April, basically, because the first big date on this program is April 1st, 2024. This is when the first batch of positions is going to go live on our website, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But April 1st is really kind of y'all's first go date. You want to start thinking about your resume, you want to start thinking about your cover letter to get things prepared for April 1st. The earliest that interns can start work in this program is June 3rd, 2024, okay? So if you are submitting applications in April and May, you might be doing some interviews, you might be, going back and forth with some work sites, but nobody is starting any earlier than June 3rd. And all internships that begin this year must be completed by March 1st of 2025. So that's about a 9-month window for interns to complete their internships as part of this program. We're going to talk about the launches in just a minute, but what I want to note is that we have internships that are starting at all different times in between this timeline. So not all internships will start in June. Some of them might start in July. Some of them might start in August. Some of them might start in September, right? So this is kind of a rolling basis that internships are starting and stopping. But the begin date is a hard deadline and the end date is a hard deadline, right? All internships would need to be completed by March 1st of 2025. So you've heard me mention these launch dates. What do I mean by that? So here's our website, www.lacountyarts.org/internships. And at the end of this presentation, we actually have a cool little QR code if you want to wait for that, that'll take you to it. But our website and this specific link will take you to a page that acts as a job board for all of the 228 internships that are in the program. I want to make something very, very clear here. You are not applying to us at the department for these internships. You are applying directly to the organizations that you're interested in for the internship, okay? So nobody's sending us resumes. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure it looks great. Don't send it to us. There's nothing we can do with it. You will be applying to our organizations to do that. The 4 dates that positions are going to go live on our website are April 1st, May 1st, June 3rd, and July 1st. So after July 1st, you will see all 228 positions on our website. Okay, here's a little bit of inside information for those of you that are participating today or watching on the live stream. This year, the April batch is significantly larger than the other batches. More than half of the 228 positions are going to go live on April 1st. So you don't have to apply for anything in the April batch. All we're telling you is that the vast majority of those positions are going to go live on April 1st. So you want to do, like I mentioned earlier, as much as you can now, starting today, to get yourself ready to be able to apply for these internships starting on April 1st. When you go to our website on April 1st or May or June or July, on that job board, you're going to be able to click into each of the internships to find the information that you see here on the right-hand side of the bubble. So each individual position is going to have these sections. First, a brief organization description. What is it that the organization does? Right? Are they a municipal arts agency? Are they a dance company? Are they a music company? Are they an organization that works with filmmakers? Right? That brief organization description will tell you in a couple of sentences what the organization does. You will also see a position description. So what is it that the organization is wanting this intern to do in their internship? Some suggested qualifications. So what are some skills or some technologies or some attitudes, maybe even, that would be helpful for an intern to have to be able to complete this internship? You will also see a line that talks about the work period and schedule. It will say something like this. This intern is scheduled to work 20 hours a week starting in July, ending in December, right? So that is telling you some very important information around the hours worked per week, as well as the start and end months of the internship. And last but certainly not least, there will be a how to apply section. And if Sam and I have some time at the end of this presentation, maybe we can bring up an example to show you. But that how to apply section, like I mentioned earlier, is your instructions for how to apply for that particular internship. With 186 organizations, that means there's 186 different ways that they're going to go about this. I will tell you right now that a lot of them want resumes and cover letters, or at the very least resumes, but that's not all of them. Sometimes they want a video submission about you talking about why you want to be a part of the internship. Sometimes one of my favorites was a couple years ago, one organization said, send us a one-page informal letter about why you want to work with our organization, right? So why I'm bringing that up is it's very, very important, like I said, that you pay close attention to what it is that they want from you in that how to apply section so that you can follow their instructions for applying. Again, you are not applying to us at the Department of Arts and Culture. You are submitting your applications directly to the organizations so that they can reach out to you and coordinate an interview should you move forward. Okay, I am going to turn it over to someone who's much more interesting to me, my colleague Sam, who's going to walk you through the actual bones of the internship. And just as a quick plug, if you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and Sam and I are going to get to them at the end of this. Sam, take it away.
Thanks, Martine. All right, let's get into one of the most exciting parts of the internship, payment. So a really nice aspect of these internships is that all of these positions are paid. So all interns will be paid $6,912 at a rate of $17.28 an hour, working a total of 400 hours. So we acknowledge that 400 hours is a pretty significant time commitment, but we believe that that just provides interns with more of an opportunity to build great relationships with their host organization and their colleagues. And I think we can all acknowledge that networking is a really important aspect of this field. So hopefully that gives you a nice opportunity to relationship build. That being said, because it is a long internship, it will require planning on your end. So this internship cannot be completed within a few weeks. So it is important that if you decide to apply for the program, you review your calendar and responsibilities, whether that be work, childcare, or school, just to confirm that you can complete that 400-hour requirement. Now, let's say you do decide you can complete the time commitment, you land the internship, there's a chance that you might be asked to run errands for work using your car, or perhaps you need to pay for parking on site. The expectation is that you are reimbursed for any parking fees or mileage that's accrued on top of your wages. So most organizations, they won't ask you to do this, but if it does come up, please know that the expectation is that you're reimbursed for those fees. And of course, payroll taxes do apply. So getting hired means that you will be added to payroll, ergo, you won't be taking home exactly $6,912. Payroll taxes will be deducted from your check. You can go to the next slide. Okay, the work. Internship duties vary by position, so you will notice that there will be similar titles working for different organizations. But just because two internships share the same title, that does not mean that they will have the same responsibilities. So just be prepared to go into each posting and take a look at those position descriptions to see if the role feels like a good fit for you. So if there's something in the position description that is completely new to you, let's say it's a task that you've never tried before, maybe you feel a little bit unsure of your skills in that area, that's completely okay. In fact, that's the point of the arts internship program. These organizations, they understand that a majority of the interns may be entering the professional field for the first time. So as long as you're coming in with a good attitude and you're prepared to learn new things, you're going to be successful. Next slide, please. Okay, internship formats. So a lot of these positions, they are a mix of on-site and remote work. Organizations will typically detail this in the position description. In the case that it is not included in the position description, please come to the interviews prepared to ask about the specifics of this. We give you this as like a little tip. We all know at the end of every interview, there's always that question, do you have any questions for us? This is a good opportunity just to ask what work looks like, whether it's on-site or remote, or a mix of both. The position descriptions will also include details regarding the amounts of hours the intern will be expected to work and the start and end dates. So again, please come to these interviews prepared to discuss your schedule. It is possible that an organization will work with you if you let them know in advance that you are not enrolled in any classes for the summer, but maybe you're back full-time in the fall. So if you let your hiring manager know this in advance, it is very possible that they'll work with you to create a schedule that perhaps works with your availability. So perhaps they'll have you be full-time in the summer, and then they know you're starting school in the fall, so they'll set you up so you're only working 15 hours in the fall. But again, this is only possible if you communicate with them, so please do so in the interview. And lastly, please be sure you're looking closely at these job postings, taking a look at their location, the on-site work expectations, and also the 400-hour requirement to determine whether you are able to commit to the internship this year. This program's been around for 24 years, as Martin mentioned, so we don't expect to go anywhere. So if this year is not your year, but you're still in school next year or you're graduating next year, you also have next year to apply. So take a look at that. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is a really fun component of the program. We'd like to provide interns with like additional supplemental experiences to complement your internship. These events are called peer groups. They happen 1 to 2 times a month from July 2024 to February 2025. Some of these events are virtual, some are in person. But they provide you with a great opportunity to network with interns working at different organizations and also some pretty phenomenal arts professionals. I'm actually going to the last 2023 peer group event this Thursday, and the interns participating in that event, they're going to have the opportunity to get a tour of the Museum of Neon Art and also try glass blowing, which is really fun. So yeah, again, these experiences are really fun, and they're just a great opportunity to network and make friends. Interns are required to attend one peer group event, but what's really nice is they'll be paid for their attendance as part of their normal work hours. And last but certainly not least is Art Summit. So this is a bigger event that's coming back after a 2-year hiatus. It's an opportunity to get together in person, to hear from incredible arts professionals, learn about the creative sector in Los Angeles, and meet interns working at different organizations. So this event would be roughly half a day, but we highly, highly, highly encourage all the interns to participate. Next slide. All right, Martin, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Sam. I just want to underscore one more time what Sam said a minute ago about, really your first step as students, in addition to like thinking about putting together your resume and cover letter, is to be really looking at your calendar for the rest of 2024 and decide if you are able to commit to this 400-hour internship. As Sam mentioned, 400 hours is substantial. That is not an internship that can be completed in a couple of weeks. Even if you are working full time for 40 hours a week, that's still a 2.5 month internship, basically, right? So we really, really want you all to make sure that if you're applying for this program, that you're, aware of the commitment. So do yourself a favor and just be thinking about what that looks like over the next couple of weeks. And again, if you're going to be in school next year, or even if you're going to graduate next year, and maybe 2025 is looking a little bit better, then maybe next year would be a better time to apply. So just kind of keep that in mind. Here on the screen, you can see the internship email, so internship@arts.lacounty.gov. If you have any questions in the next couple of weeks, you are welcome to send an email. Myself and Sam monitor that inbox. So if you have questions about something, you can always send us an email and we will do our best to get back to you. And as I mentioned, here's the QR code queued up here for you to be able to look at our website. It should take you straight to our website. And before we close out, because we have a couple of minutes, and again, if you have some questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I wanted to just show you really quickly an example of what the internships look like. So what I'm about to show you are internships for the current internship cycle. So this is 2023. So all of these internships are filled. They're all in the process of being closed out. So these are not positions that are currently available. This website will be updated in the next couple of weeks as we prepare for the new internships to be posted. But here are all of the sections that we mentioned when we were talking about earlier. So here's the organization's address and their website. You want to do a little bit of research about what these organizations do, right? So that you can speak to that as part of your resume, as part of your cover letter, as part of your interview. We highly, highly recommend that you take a look at their website to figure out a little bit more information about what they do. Here, the description, this is what the intern is actually going to be doing. This is the Alzheimer's of Greater Los Angeles internship I was mentioning earlier as an example. So the description talks about like what the intern will do. Some qualifications, these are some preferred skills that the organization is hoping that the intern will have to assist them in doing the internship. The background, this is what the work of the organization and what they do as part of being Alzheimer's LA. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, how to apply. So for this internship, they're saying interested students should apply by submitting a resume and cover letter to Annie O with her email address, right? So as you can see, these are all of the positions that are in the that were in the program this year. So there's a lot to choose from. These are always listed in alphabetical order. And you might notice that some of these internships have similar or actually identical names. So you'll see a lot of production internships, administrative intern, marketing intern. Just because an internship shares the name with another internship does not mean that they're the same. In fact, I can guarantee you that no two internships in this program are the same, even if they're taking place at the same organization. Everything is a little bit different. So again, our website just acts as a job board for you to be able to find all of these positions. And then when you click into something, that will tell you how to apply for it. Okay, I'm leaving up our information. And Sam, I'm going to ask for your help here to lift up some questions from the chat.
Thanks, Martin. Okay, first question we have is from Jan. For screenwriting majors, what internships would you recommend?
So we do have a handful of organizations that work in the film and digital media space. Some organizations you might have heard of, like Film Independent, New Filmmakers Los Angeles, National Association of Latino Independent Producers. There's also a couple of big names you might recognize, like the Academy Museum down in Hollywood. So there definitely are some film and television based organizations that I would recommend. But I don't think you should feel like you have to apply for those. Like, what would it be to participate at a theater organization, right? Or maybe you're particularly interested in music. So don't feel like you have to stick to those things, but there are film and digital media organizations in the pool that I think you can look at if that's of interest to you.
Thanks, Martin. Okay, next question comes from James. Any recommendations for a performance major trying to get into arts administration?
Participate in this program. I say that because, and I should have said this earlier, we do get questions sometimes about like, wait, is this an internship to make art? I'm a dancer, I'm an actor, I'm a musician. Will I be able to make art? And I'm using art, guys, as a very general term here. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Insert whatever artistic discipline, right? I'm an animator or I'm a painter, right? So I want to be really clear. This internship program is the administration side of things. So a lot of folks, and thank you for this great question. A lot of interns that participate in our program are artists, but they want to see things on the back side. They want to see this administrative side of things, and this is the program for that, right? This is going to show you how to work on the more administrative side of things. I want to be clear. I think a lot of times our organizations, when they find out that they have an intern that is a dancer or is a musician or is a filmmaker, they might try to assist, they might try to be able to, or to create opportunities for you to utilize those skills in your internship. That is possible, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you will definitely get to do that. So if you're a performance major, I would say maybe look at the performing arts organizations in theater or in dance. And this is a great way to get administrative experience if you are a practicing artist. Absolutely. Yeah, great question.
We have another good question from Psalm. Um, this may vary based on the organization and communicating with them, but am I still able to participate or apply if I go out of the country this summer for vacation?
Yeah, so this is a great question, and I it definitely is based on the organization. So I'm going to say that point blank. What I'm about to say, is just general information. Every organization will handle this differently. However, what I would say is if you know that let's say you're going to be gone June and July, and you come back in August. You can go onto the website and be looking for positions that will start in September, right? So what I would not do is if you know that you're going to be gone from June, July, and August, don't apply for an internship that says this internship will start in June. Right? You have to do a little bit of the legwork yourself for making sure that you're applying to internships that you can actually commit to. So, just again, do a little bit of that work yourself. And if the summer is going to be too crazy, if you got too much going on, then maybe this isn't the year. And maybe next year you can plan to, not go away for the summer and take advantage of more of these opportunities. But we will have internships that start in August and September. And so you may want to just look for those opportunities.
Thanks, Martin. Okay, next question. I'm new to this entire administration side of things. What exactly are administration duties, roles? What do they usually entail?
So I'm just clicking back to this internship, the types of position list. So these are all the different types of positions in the program. So think of it as more office-based work. It's not always office-based. In fact, I would say I'm sure a lot of our interns are not in the office very much. But again, these internships are not for making art. They are for supporting charitable 501c3 organizations that have artistic missions in their work. So let's say that you're a development and fundraising intern. That might mean that you're helping write grants. That might mean that you're helping research grants. You might be writing grant reports. Let's say that you're a marketing intern, or a graphic design, you might be making flyers for events. You might be running social media accounts. You might be running Twitter accounts, right? Let's say that you are a research and evaluation intern. You might be conducting surveys. You might be looking at data. You might be writing reports, right? So again, that's what we mean by administration. These are not internships in creating art. These are internships in helping run these arts organizations, and these internships are really supporting them in that. Great question.
And we have another question here from Mia. Would a communications major fit with these types of internships?
Yeah, Sam, would you like to take that one?
Absolutely. There's no limit or cap on the type of major that you should be pursuing when applying to these internships. As mentioned before, the hiring organizations know that they cannot have as a part of the qualifications the need for you to be in a certain major or have um, done a certain type of work. Like these are entry level positions. So, we're here to encourage y'all to explore potential career paths that you might be interested in. This is a good opportunity to get your feet wet and maybe something that's a little bit off of your major just for fun, or maybe it's in line with your major. As long as it's in line with your interests, that is great. And
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead.
Martina, I want to ask you one last question that I think is really great for interns to know. How many internships should an intern apply for?
Yeah, really. So I'll get to that in just 1 minute. I do want to say specifically for communications, you might want to think about the marketing internships or development and fundraising internships. These are typically internships where interns are doing a lot of writing, they're doing a lot of research, they're doing maybe helping brand an organization. They're trying to outreach and bring more people into events and things. So I actually think communication majors are really, really well suited for some of the internships in this program because there can be a lot of writing opportunities, a lot of grant writing opportunities that would be great for comms. We loved how this question of how many internships we should apply to. Here's what I want to say. Treat it like you treated your college applications. When you applied for college, I don't think very many of us applied for hundreds of schools, right? You do a little bit of research about which schools are interesting to you. You figure out what the requirements are, how far away they are from home, how much they cost, things like that. We encourage you to do the same thing for this internship program. So what we would say is look at 3 to 5, applying for 3 to 5 internships. And that's because you want to make sure that you're submitting individualized resumes, individualized cover letters, right? So to give a counter example or to give an example of something I would strongly advise you against doing, and it happens all the time, is we do have interns that will create one resume and one cover letter and they will rocket it off to 100 organizations, right? It is very obvious to our organizations when an intern does that. Number one, because the interns that take a little bit more time and energy to individualize their applications, that also gets noticed. So the other thing is that a lot of our organizations are friends with each other, colleagues with each other, and so we've had it happen where an intern sends off all of these resumes and they forget to change the name of the theater, right? They email theater A, but on the email it says theater B. So aim for 3 to 5. And what you should really be doing is working closely with the Career Center at CSUN. Reach out to the staff there. There's a reason why we are talking to you today, February 13th, right? These positions are not even going to go live till April 1st. So you have time between now and April to really start working on what it is that you want to put forward as part of these applications. So I would say aim for about 3 to 5 as to be part of this program. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to add something here. I know there'll be more questions, but I'm going to launch the second poll. So if you could please fill out the poll for us.
Are there any other questions that we can answer for us today? I want to thank you all for these questions. Okay, I see a question here. I'm an animation major, just trying to branch out. Any internship recommendations? It's hard without knowing you individually, but maybe think about film and digital media. I will say, unfortunately, we don't have anything specific. We don't have any specific animation internships, but I think earlier I mentioned some of our organizations that work in the film and digital media space. I think those could be great opportunities. And y'all, in general, your internship is what you make it, right? Your internship is what you put into it. So even if it's an internship in music as an animation major, right? There are people you can meet, there are skills that you can develop, there are projects that you can work on that will be helpful for you in the future on an animation project, right? So instead of thinking specifically about what kind of opportunities might be best, I would be coming in here and reading about these organizations, read these descriptions about what it is that they do, and let that be kind of what guides you into what to apply for, because there's a lot here to choose from. Did I see
I would
another?
agree.
Oh,
I just would like to add something. And this presentation has been wonderful. I do want you to think about whether or not this is the right time for you to apply, because it is a commitment. And as Martine and Sam both said, you want to think about you fulfilling this commitment. It's 400 hours. So it's not something that you can do in a day or two, but the opportunities are great. If you are a performing artist, or if you are whatever your skill set is as an artist, yes, these are on the administrative side, but I want you to know this is how you get to learn how things work. Um, and as an artist, it's very, very valuable to understand the backside, because you as a, let's say if you're a performer or an animator, or if you are a painter, whatever it might be, um, understanding how the business is run is essential for you to be successful, um, as a performing artist in some way. So these are very, very valuable insight into how things are done, into connecting with other people, networking, meeting people. It's really, really a great opportunity. So there they have the QR code. So, take out take a picture, or connect directly with the QR code. And do we have more questions? Because I didn't want to stop the question flow.
Yeah, I see one more in here, for a psychology major. Any recommendations? So, I mentioned earlier this year we actually have a lot of arts education internships. So these are internships working directly with young people in schools, most likely. It could either be in school instruction or after school instruction. So I don't know. I think that could be kind of interesting for psychology students, to work directly with students. But again, there is also some social justice. There might be some social justice organizations like Alzheimer's Association of Greater Los Angeles. I didn't mean to plug them 3 times in this presentation, but they're an organization that's working with folks that are living with Alzheimer's, and so that could be an opportunity, right? Again, I think I don't want folks to be thinking, here's my major, let me spend so much time figuring out which of these particular disciplines is a direct fit. Go into the positions, read about the organizations, read about the internships, and let that be your guide, right? Because we have people doing things all over the place. I met an intern a couple years ago who was a biology major, a medical student, and she goes, I've always thought dance was really beautiful. I'm not a dancer. I've never danced a day in my life, but I think dance as an art form is beautiful, and I wanted to learn more about this organization. And she did the internship, and she had a great time, right? So, I don't necessarily think you should worry too much about this is my major. How do I make it fit in this particular discipline? Look at the positions, read up about the organizations, do some research, and let that be your guide. I think that's the best way to go about it. Um, okay, I just want to take a second to thank the CSUN team again, Jan and Anastasia and Anne, for all of your support today and inviting us to be here. It's really an honor to be able to administrate this program on behalf of the county. Like I said, we've been around 24 years. We don't anticipate going anywhere. Hopefully, we'll be part of next year's arts or internship week at CSUN. But if you have any questions, if you think of something after today's conversation and you want to get an answer from us, just send us an email, and Sam and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So with that, Jan, we'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Martine. I would like to thank both Martine and Sam for sharing this wonderful program with us today. Know that there was a lot of information that they shared today. You can either go directly to that website, or you can also watch this again because it will be posted on our CSUN Career Center YouTube channel. Also next week, we have a job fair next week, but after our job fair, I will be sending out links directly to so you can view these sessions again. We have a lot of students that either watch on the live stream or they watch after the event is over because they have classes or whatnot. So please do check out the CSUN Career Center YouTube channel. And then tomorrow we have our last huge session. It's resume makeover. We hope that you will come, bring your resumes. You will have 10 minutes that you will spend with a career professional or peer, and we'll be critiquing your resumes, getting them ready for our Tech Fest is next week, and March 7th, we will have our spring career fair with a whole variety of employers that will be recruiting. So thanks again. I love that we have our wonderful speakers, and take care, everybody.